Presenting to you Nebula, a GitHub repository analysis and documentation tool. I'm Debjit Kundu from Team Upcode. So let's dive into what Nebula actually is. So we were going through certain problems during our development career. And what the problem is, we were facing issues with generating documentations, or rather proper documentations, README files, and maintaining quality of code. So we came up with a solution. What is it? Nebula. It can generate README files, it generates structured documentation for your code, and also it provides intelligent insights about your vulnerabilities and whatever you are using in your code. It can actually analyze your whole repository. So, and how does it work, right? It works like we have a front end, and which is our Next.js application, where the user or developer signs in using Clerk as authentication, and then we have the API routes hitting the LLM services. Now the important thing comes here, and that is what we do with LLM services. The LLM services we are using is the GitHub API. Also, you are using along with you're using Google Gemini API and Grok LLM API. And for database, we are using MongoDB Atlas. Now, using this Gemini API, we are generating vector embeddings for our GitHub repository summary, and for the Grok LLM, we are generating all other contents. We will be coming to that in the future sections. Let's understand the work, what our app actually, or what our website rather actually does. So as you can see here, the user signs in to our web application, and then it goes, we authenticate the user using Clerk and all, get the auth token and everything. Then the user provides the GitHub URL, right? After providing the GitHub URL, we analyze the GitHub URL. How? We first use the API and git ingest API, and then we'll get the file structure, the codes and all. And after that, we generate the vector embeddings, right? And generate the summary of the whole repository. Why is the summary necessary? I will come to that. We generate a summary, and all this happens only after we have validated the user, right? If only, like all the routes are obviously protected, and only authorized users, authenticated users can use that. Now, while generating these embeddings, we have generated the embeddings. We have formed the code structure, all using the LLM, rather Google Gemini LLM to be specific, and also then we have created the summary and documentation. After that, after the analysis is completed, we give it in front end, and then we can move to the next page. What we do there, we can chat with the LLM. We can chat about our repository. We can ask it anything like what vulnerabilities are there in our code, what could be the improvements, what could be the other tech stacks that could be used in this modern world, and more and more and more. We can also use, we can go to the generating site, just to the next of that, and we can generate, right? And we can generate readmes at first. That's the most important thing we are all looking for, right? We can generate readmes, we can generate LinkedIn posts, we can generate Twitter articles, and in LinkedIn post you get to tag, you get to tag what are the most used technologies using things and all in the formatted, proper formats. A LinkedIn format is properly given, and on that basis we are generating. It's not some random. You can directly copy from there and paste it in LinkedIn, fully formal. And then there is Twitter. During Twitter's Twitter post, that is X recently, it gives you proper tags and all. You can generate PPTs for your project submission in hackathons with PPTs, and as well as your pitch that you will be saying in the stage, right? We generate all of those, and we store it in our database for further usage. And you can also view your previous sections, right? That whatever you have generated previously, you can see that I have generated a PPT, I have generated this for a particular GitHub repo. You can see all of those, and we are also we are offering all this with certain restrictions on the free tier, but there are other plans also. Now we'll talk to that. Now there are other sections like the other model that is a paid version, where you can generate unlimited of these contents and unlimited repositories. In the free version, we are limiting to a certain amount because the API calls are really expensive, and we have to pay for that. And after all those generation and all, we have also integrated it to a Web3 platform. What have we integrated? We have actually, after generating all your contents, you can redirect to our Web3 platform, and then in the Web3 platform, you can publish. You can publish your articles and all, your technical documentation. You can publish there with setting a price. After setting a price, and you can also, and all those are stored in Web3. The Web3 integration has third web as a service. We're using it for most of our works, and also you're storing the articles and all in Web3, so you are obviously protected, and you don't need to think about restrictions imposed by several authorities, right? That's our plan for using Web3 for publishing your articles and all, right, about your new software or whatever you have created. So what are the technologies that we are using? Very easy. We are using front-end. We are using Next.js, obviously, and we have a backend in Fast API. running in a different server for generating summaries and all. And yeah, the next is another backend is written in Express for the interior parts. That is for the LLM of Grok APIs. We are using for generating readmes and other content. For the summary and vector embeddings, we are using Gemini. That is in Flask. Sorry, Fast API. That is written in Fast API. We are using MongoDB database. And yeah, so how is this great, right? How is our project good? So how is our project good? Yes, because we are analyzing repositories, we are generating documentations, 6 type, I guess I told you, PPT and all, PPT, page, README, article, Twitter, LinkedIn posts. We are also keeping the vector such that is very useful for doing the chat thing, because only in that context only you can have a chat with our in our application. Not that you can ask anything, but only, I mean, you can ask, but you will not get the desired output. You will not get any output. You have to ask only about specific about your repository. The API references. The API structure I have already mentioned you before, how it works. You have to generate readmes, you can generate summaries at the beginning itself and all. And Nebula is really, really good at doing all these things. It maintains consistency of responses. The responses are very much consistent. You don't give random answers. And then, yeah, this is already mentioned what we are using the architecture and the aspects of everything. This. The next thing is, how are you thinking? What are we thinking about the future? How are we thinking to improve it, right? About improving, we were thinking of collaborative editing in the future, and also to make the UI UX a bit better. Although it's great enough, but it can be always made better. And to make a good ecosystem with other applications, we were thinking about that. Maybe launching a mobile app in the future. That would be very much handy one. And the enterprise features are generally great. You will be getting a proper analytics of your team, whatever you're doing, a proper dashboard and all. That these are the future implementation that we were thinking of. Now, if you think about the monetization, how are we monetizing this? Yes, monetization thing. So in our web 2, the Nebula, how are we monetizing? We have two plans, a free plan and obviously there are some restrictions in the free plan, restrictions on how many content you can generate, right? But in the enterprise plan, pro plan, you can generate as many as you want. There is no restrictions on that, and we are getting obviously money from there. We will be getting money from there. We have also integrated the payments thing. And in the web 3 portion, what we are doing is we are we are uh, we can set the users can set a price amount to their article, that their documentation that they want to publish, and then if someone else has to read it, they have to pay that price. Now at this current moment, the price that someone pays for the article to read it completely goes directly to the author of the article. But in the future, we are going to implement a 2080 policy, that is 20% of the cost that the author is getting, we will be deducting that and taking as platform fees, while the 80% of the author itself. And that is all. I rest here.